Undertale. Or Undertale, as my phone likes to autocorrect to. You been hanging out on Fur Affinity again, phone? The first RPG where you don't have to kill anyone. Welcome to the Underground, home of the weird and wonderful monster race. What? How'd you end up here? I don't know, you were looking for some cookies or something and fell down a mountain. Isn't that how any good plot starts? It's a game about choices and whether or not you can live with yourself after you make those choices. It teaches you not to take the world at face value. No, literally, that flower has a face? Help? Yeah, okay, I guess it was nothing. Undertale is a cut above the rest because it accomplishes what many games try to do and end up losing in the process. The writing is well thought out and everything has meaning as opposed to most soulless NPCs that exist only to say one line and then fade into obscurity forever. The mostly non-sequitur humor makes a lighthearted and innocent playthrough that much more enjoyable, and more often than not you will really start to fall in love with these characters. I honestly can't think of a single NPC that I did not like. Well, maybe one.
Jerry.
The more you play the game without murdering, the more it flows, which obviously seems the intention, but if you have a heart for cruelty, that door is open for you and your meal is on the table, if you can stomach the flavor and the aftertaste. Undertale gives you a real choice about how you're going to play it, with endings that go along with your choices. You reap what you sow, after all. The power of choice is often advertised in games, but you are pretty limited. In this, you can choose not to kill a single person, bosses included. In fact, you can befriend all the bosses, and even call some of them on the phone, lending you their unique insight on puzzles, areas, and even revealing some secrets to you. Glad I know that now. Unlike the AAA soulless shovelware made it to make a bunch of money titles you see coming out these days, Undertale just feels like a lot of love went into it. It appears like the creators poured a portion of their hearts and souls into it because they genuinely cared about this project. You see this a lot with indie games these days. Don't get me wrong, there were a lot of good games that came out recently, but this game in particular made me take a step back in order to appreciate what a truly one-of-a-kind experience that I had. In an industry becoming overly obsessed and dependent on war and violence, murder and mayhem are not only justified, but glorified. Idolized, even. Undertale contrasts with these ideals with sharp, emotional immersiveness. I don't even know if that's a word, but that's what it is. This is the first game I've played in so long that helped me develop alongside the character I play as. So many games try to do this, but end up turning you into a psychopath in the end. If you have all the power in the world and the power to save, of course you'll abuse it. Because you can. And because you can, you feel like you have to. I find that one of the most interesting things about Undertale is how remarkably different it is from what we are used to. It isn't just a story about a land filled with monsters. It's also about humanity and showing us how human nature can be overcome through hope, thoughtfulness, and determination. That being said, it's not an easy road, and more often than not, it's not a road that everyone will agree with. But the ability to adapt, overcome, and persevere despite your hardships will make it all worthwhile. You can save the world, or you can destroy it. 'Cause you're a bloodlusting psychopath and you should be ashamed of yourself. Moving on, the graphics fit the style really well, so if you're looking for 3D rendered scenery, go take a look out the nearest window. And if you live in a windowless cube dimension, try googling something else, I don't know. The artwork may look simple, but this retro style in itself is beautiful and even heartwarming. No, literally. It's burning me. No, get away, your love is bad! You know, I haven't even really heard that many complaints about the game. You know what the biggest one is, honestly? With today's modern graphics, you'd think they'd be able to bring it up to at least Modern Warfare style. It's like, that's not the point! The RPG game's retro! Friggin' born in 1999 ass bitch. I'm sorry, I probably didn't mean that. Probably. If the aesthetic is really going to detract from your experience, try Nature Simulator or watching some painting with Bob Ross.
Isn't that a nice little tree? And he lives right here in this brush. All you have to do is sort of push him out.
For everyone else, where the graphics aren't your main concern, you're right. In any game, the graphics should take a back seat compared to things like character development and storytelling, which it feels like those two things in particular were given a unique soul that meshes harmoniously with your own. I don't know if it's just the effect of having played hundreds of games, but lately I've been finding it hard to give a care about NPCs anymore. Undertale not only gave me the option to do whatever I felt like, but it made me feel something again. And it was such a strange feeling in stark contrast to the disconnect between my avatar and the characters presented to me in other games. Never before had I chosen the evil path in a moral choice game, and it made me want to give up. Not because of the difficulty, but due to the emotional weight placed on the choices that I had to make. You may end up regretting how you play the game, but never will you regret having played it. What's that? You do? Well, step right up, right this way, please. You also get to meet some weird and wonderful characters that you might find yourself falling in love with. Or you might hate looking at their stupid, dumb faces and want to take it upon yourself to just smack the shit. When you kill a character, you don't get to learn about their unique story, but you still can do it. That is an option for you. You can fight if you really want to, but will you be able to live with yourself?
My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me no.
Undertale has some unique ideas and some interesting food, like this completely normal plate of wait. That spaghetti over there. This game also has its fair share of puzzles.
Wait! Let me handle this part! So, human, you want to know about puzzles? Well, I, the great Papyrus, will tell you. In order to astound, amaze, and then subsequently capture you, my brother Sans and I have created some puzzles. But oh, these aren't just any ordinary puzzles. They're
frustration-free. If you can't or don't feel like solving some of the puzzles, the game usually offers you a workaround, giving you a solution, an alternative, or a chance to phone a friend. Undertale has a unique combat system that I haven't seen in any other game, and I've played a lot of them! It combines the top-down shooter bullet hell style for dodging enemy attacks with Dave & Buster's style stop-the-light timed button press for your attacks. Since you don't have to hurt nobody, you won't be attacking much. Right? It essentially turns each new enemy into a puzzle that has to be solved if you want to resolve things peacefully. Now, with that in mind, you'd think things would get stale after a while, right? Wrong! Subsequent enemies and bosses present new patterns and methods of fighting that keep things fresh throughout the entire game. Ding! If you're no good at bullet hells, don't even worry about it, because I'm not either. Seriously, I felt like I got hit more often than not. Jesus Christ, look at this! This is impossible! Even if you keep losing, every time you die, the price of the best armor in the game decreases, so if you have trouble, that armor will make your time a whole lot easier. I ended up using that armor, and it didn't spoil any of my enjoyment for the game. Yeah, but it made you a noob scrub! Shut up. Sometimes you're dodging bullets, but most of the time you're dodging flexing arms, magic charms, hopping frogs, and barking dogs. What is this, fucking Cat in a Hat? It keeps things challenging and even entertaining as you dodge around these silly shots. People have compared this style of gaming to something like Touhou. No. This is literally a bullet hell. Look at all this! There's too much shit happening! Let's move along and talk about one of the best things about this game. Dig that funky beat! Oh yeah, it makes me want to strap on some high heels and dance around while showing people my heart. Heart was what I was gonna say. I like where your mind's at though. Seriously, the soundtrack is nothing to shake a stick at. It is beautifully mixed and meshes well in every situation that you're in. Every single one of the boss themes is unique, which is an accomplishment in and of itself, and rightly so. Every boss has a different feel to it, so of course you want the music to reflect your current predicament. If nothing else, if you like retro-themed songs, you can kick back and relax to the soundtrack and have an amazing experience just through that. Undertale has a really compelling, player-driven story, and while it is somewhat short, there are tons of secrets and multiple endings to explore. Think about, but never explore due to their emotional gravity. It lures you in as though you don't know what to expect, then takes your feelings and puts them through the meat grinder to make a delicious, nutritious, edible sequin-covered burger.
Glam burger.
That was weird, let's not do that again. It uses the medium of being a video game so artfully that it can break down the fourth wall without seeming naive or foolish. Undertale knows that it is a game, and it knows how you might play it. The game references and addresses the player in such a way that it blurs the line between the safety of blaming your actions on your avatar, and instead showing you that this is your doing. You made the choice, not your avatar. Your determination brought you to where you are. How far will it carry you from here? Every choice, every decision matters. You can proceed no matter what you choose, but the game remembers. Your choices can and will haunt you. And even if you go back, they remember you. It uses your ability to save and reload as part of the main plot of the story, something that is almost never addressed otherwise, going back to that wonderful breakage of the fourth wall. It leaves you with a sense of satisfaction because you chose what kind of ending you'll get through your own actions. How did it come to this? Hey, everybody's dead, but puppies! I believe that it does a fantastic job of challenging some of the tired and expected normalcies of today's games in a way that is long overdue. It pokes jokingly at things we might have taken for granted that honestly needed to be poked at. It helps you see things in a new light that you might have overlooked before. And on top of it all, when you take a little Alice peek down the rabbit hole, you'll notice that most of the game is laid out for you in a delightful tea party, but some other things are only hinted at. So you're left with a feeling that the world is much broader and deeper than what you know, which leaves room for thoughtful consideration and speculation, while not being too contrived to ever let you solve its mysteries. I'm looking at you, FNAF! There are also a lot of tiny details otherwise unnoticed in the game that help you piece together many mysteries. However, as opposed to a series like Five Nights at Freddy's where nothing is set in stone, you can actually solve these mysteries with concrete evidence from the game. I won't give it away, but that kicking the snowball into the whole game, while seeming pointless at first, lends insight to help you figure out some stuff. Yeah, or you could just check the wiki, that's fine. Undertale also gets incredibly deep in the relationship between our character and ourselves. It doesn't let you hide behind the anonymity of your avatar. If you kill, that's on you, not them. The makers of this game suggested that you put in your own name at the beginning, and you will see why. Every time you kill, it says, you did it, not the avatar. The avatar itself has a name, but until you prove yourself, you won't find out what it is, because there's always a chance that you might force them to do something that they wouldn't do. And that brings us to our heaviest topic, what most players refer to as no mercy, or, more colloquially, Genocide Mode. This is where you choose to not only kill anyone and everyone you meet, but you actively level grind an area until it is completely devoid of life. The monsters will stop spawning, the music will change, and whenever you get into a random encounter like other RPGs, instead of initiating a battle, you will get this creepy message. When you go into Genocide Mode, the game turns into a literal, playable creepypasta, where you're the evil thing poking its dick into everyone's business. That's what happens in those, right? The usually happy and cheerful towns become vacant and devoid of life, alluding to the fact that everyone's trying to escape from you. You're not just killing, you're invoking terror into the innocent NPCs. In this mode, you can steal from shops, taking instead of paying, even robbing them blind of all their money. Taking advantage of others and then stabbing them in the back becomes the new norm for you. This is your world to mess with, after all. Now, some people complain that Genocide Mode is a grind. That's how it is supposed to feel. It is meant to emulate the grinding in other RPGs, but with darker implications. You are hunting monsters out of the prospect of tangible rewards. It no longer becomes about self-defense. You are hunting them down and killing them. In No Mercy mode, the puzzles are gone, and the lighter, funny things are taken out. The game knows what you're trying to do, not playing to overcome situations, but to go on a murder spree, to see what it's like, to see what happens at the end. On a No Mercy genocide run, many of the bosses go down in one hit due to your intense level of murderous intent. The game knows what you want, and it gives it to you. All it takes is one act of mercy to put you back on the right path. It might be a dark path, but it's brighter than the pitch darkness of living without mercy. If you don't grind every single enemy in an area, or if you choose to spare even one person, that'll turn you back into a neutral mode. The game will turn at least a little bit lighter. The areas where you've killed everybody still stay a bit dark and the people are all gone, but again, it's better than nothing, right? But if you choose to not spare anyone, there's only 2 people that will ever stand a chance against you now, so you'd better be prepared to pay the price if you want to continue. Any boss in any other mode that you faced before doesn't even compare to these 2. Now please, don't avert your eyes. You should see what awaits you on the path of darkness. Many walk that path, all for their own reasons, even me. And although I was heartbroken, I'm glad that I saw what becomes of the world when the red heart turns dark. This will be a spoiler if you want the surprise of who's waiting for you in the hardest fights of your genocide, but you wouldn't go that route anyway, right? No, if anything, you'll watch as someone else rips the whole world apart. The game even takes note of that. This is Undyne, a potential friend, but in this mode, one of your greatest enemies. You'll see. And with that, Undyne the hero takes on the weight of the world, putting everyone's hopes and dreams on the line. If she doesn't stop you, no one can. Her determination saves her from death because she genuinely cares not only about monsters, but about the humans, the entire world that you would go on to destroy. She emerged a true heroine. And in the end, did she succeed? This is where some genociders stop, due to loving Undyne and because of the sheer difficulty of her battle. The theme song that plays is so majestic. It really encompasses all there is at stake. After all, that theme is hers, not yours. If she fails, her world is doomed because of you, the bringer of destruction. A song like this only plays if you are in her place, not the other way around. At this point in the game, you've become such a monster that even the music is against you. If you ever hear this song, you'll know that you've taken on the equivalent of a final boss in any game. Something evil that heroes set out to stop before you take everything from everyone. the brilliance of the Genocide run and this level of difficulty is that you cannot lose. Even when you fall to Undyne, your determination can keep you going, coming back again and again and again. The only thing that would save you, and therefore their world, would be to give up for good. This hard fight isn't about defeating you. It's about taking away your determination, your will to continue. I had to go down this path for you, to show you, to feel what it was like for myself so that I could try and put it into words. Undyne being my favorite character, this was especially unbearable. Undyne deserved to be the hero that the Underground needed, and I deserved to die. How often have you played a game and you start rooting against the character that you're playing as? Not many games make you feel like you should lose because you have no right to win. This is the point where you can and should feel like the horror that you have become. The wind is howling, the requiem bell is tolling, and a true hero clashes against a threat that must be stopped. But then, some go on to defeat her. After all her pain and struggle, even as she dies, she grins, because some of her friends were able to get away, safe from you, for now. How much further are you willing to go, after slicing all hope from those in the Underground? After Undyne, a true hero, who wanted only to save the world from you? Who can stand in your way? Can you really abandon all humanity and become the murderous psychopath you set out to be? Who else could possibly put a stop to you at this point? You've cut through all your potential friends and are almost to the end of the Underground. There he is, waiting to judge you for your sins, the last line of defense for the entire world that you seek to destroy. It is fitting that you don't fight him on anything but a pure genocide run. He is the ultimate punishment for anyone wanting to destroy the world. Sans. You remember Sans, right? The first person you meet after leaving the Underground. A funny little skeleton with a mind for puns. He always appears to know more than he's letting on and hints that he could end you in just a moment. And you as the player think, whenever someone makes threats, I could always take them down in the end anyways. Let me tell you, Sans does not make threats idly. I've come this far now. Nothing can stop me. Alright, Sans, let's see you can... Whoa! Whoa! Jeez! Give me a chance to destroy the world, eh? After all that, at least I'll be able to get a decent hit. Uh-oh. We saw it before. The opponent backed into a wall with nowhere to go, ready to end the conflict once and for all. This time, it's Sans standing before you, the killer. The game's final defense, and the only hope at defeating the player for good. It's all on him, and he knows it. One final battle to decide the world's fate. Except, something feels different. Sans doesn't attack mindlessly in an attempt to harm you. He's not the one backed into a wall. You, the player, are. He knows that you're not going anywhere. There's only one path forward, and that's through him. His attacks break all conventions of gaming, everything you know and everything you thought you understood about the system. He knows that he isn't clashing against your character. He talks and fights directly with you, the player. He challenges everything you know and uses that to his advantage. He can damage you on your turn. He dodges all of your attacks. He doesn't let you have any invincibility stun. He tricks you, traps you, and disorients you, taking away any possibility of a comfort zone at any point during the fight. Megalovania is the name of the song that plays during this battle. Now, a megalomaniac is someone obsessed with their own power. Got it memorized? This isn't Sans' theme. This theme is yours. You want your power to grow ever stronger. You want to triumph over this wall and finish what you set out to do. The lazy-bones skeleton always seems so complacent, but if that wasn't the case, why does he only try to stop you at the worst possible ending? He knows the truth about the world and how it can be reset at any time, which belittles any effort he could make otherwise. Truth is, on that run, he wants you to reset, so the irredeemable killer isn't loose in his world anymore. He is finally motivated to step forward and put a stop to you only when you're truly beyond saving. Now, I've heard comments from all kinds of genociders. Sans is way too hard! You know what I say to them? Good. You deserve no mercy for what you've done, you monster. Hey, didn't you have to do the same thing to get the footage? Yeah, and I deserved it. He, like Undyne, is trying to prevent you from destroying the entire world. This battle forces you to think about what you've done. This lone obstacle standing in your way chastises you for acting like you do when you could have done anything differently. Your sins crawling on your back the entire time, and still you fight on. He knows who you really are. You're not the majestic and imposing evil that you think you are, causing suffering from your malicious intentions. No, you have no ultimate goal that explains why you do what you do. You do it because you can, and because you can, you feel like you have to. He calls you a kid, mocking you, belittling all of your actions because he thinks you're a fool. He understands that the one standing in front of him in the game is not his true enemy. He can't win by killing this character. He has to beat you, the player, your determination. So you lash out, flailing desperately, like a cornered animal. Why? What motive do you have to continue? You simply want to kill him because he's standing in your path to true dominance. This is someone like you that can manipulate the world, and you hate it. He's already beaten you, and killing him doesn't make you right. Losing your will to continue is the best possible ending for him at this point in time. All semblance of you becoming a good person is gone. You made all of your choices, and they've culminated, and it's come down to this. Nothing else in the game defies you to continue so completely, because at this moment in time, you've had every chance to walk away or turn things around. There are only two remaining options. You give up and hope that you can live with what you've done, or you continue lashing out in the hopes that your genocide will pay off. But it doesn't pay off. I can almost guarantee that you won't like what happens next. The evil that you see before you is you. Cute, isn't it? Your potential for destruction, death, mayhem, morbid curiosity, all rolled into one adorable little murderer. Kara, as it is referred to as, is the embodiment of your desire for destruction. Your soul filled with malice that controlled the poor character and made them do things against their will. You continued down this path of enjoyment of killing, presumably because you see the value of monsters' lives only through the prism of quantifiable rewards, experience, gold, level, etc. You completely disregarded the rich story, the experience the game had to offer, and instead saw the game as a way to entertain yourself through a murder spree for the sake of completion. You think you can hide behind your avatar? The main character is depicted as a very friendly person, willing to do the very best they can for everyone. Even while getting beat up, they do so with a smile, because they don't ever want to hurt anyone. Despite all odds, they befriend the entire underground through sheer power of determination. And you use that power for your own personal gain. After all your genocidal efforts, what do you really expect? You set out to destroy the world and everyone in it, and succeeded. In the end, it's not just a game. It's an experience, no matter what way you play it. It's up to you if Kara destroys the world. It stems from a possibility that someone with malice or sadistic curiosity will toy with the characters as if they were amusing puppets. Now I've experienced it all, for you, and now at last the people in the underground are safe. From me. But, in another time, another dimension, there's you. Will you leave the underground a better place, or destroy it for your own amusement? Hopefully now that you know the consequences, you won't let them suffer. Or maybe you will, just so you can have a bad time. That all being said, just do what you want, do what you feel like. No one can stop you, after all, if you have enough determination. Undertale shows that companies don't need to pump all their resources into the looks of the game, or even base it on the latest new technology to be considered great. It just needs to have some love poured in to help the player experience some sort of feelings, good or bad. The most important ingredient in a game-making stew is passion. A passion to make something that will be remembered, something that people will think about even when not playing the game. Experiences like this one bring newfound respect to indie developers and hopefully will allow more original creations to get made. Imagine a world where games like this would fail simply because big companies don't want to risk it. They want to play it safe and make Super Mario 87 the Jumping or Run and Shoot 69 Brown Bikini Edition. Companies want games that are sure to sell, and things like this are too much of a gamble for them. I would compare Undertale to a film like Howl's Moving Castle. It was very short and sweet, and although our time together was brief, I became incredibly invested in every moment I had with it. I loved each character, and in the end, I just wanted to spend more and more time with them. Even though I knew it was all coming to a conclusion, I grew to love and adore every character, and I found almost everyone endearing, and they'll stick with you long after you've finished your journey. Undertale's got the characters, got the story, got the music. This indie gem shows that even the simplest things can impact us in unexpected ways. Undertale, 2015. You can flirt with an airplane. What? No, seriously, what? What?